Pyrit ASMR. Hello everyone, so my name is Pyrit and welcome back to my channel, or maybe you are watching this on my friend's channel, ASMRGamingNews. So in case you do not know me, my name is Pyrit and I'm from the channel Pyrit ASMR Gamer. So the name of the channel is pretty self-explanatory. I'm doing mostly gaming videos, let's plays, unboxings, all types of stuff. And if you know me, but you do not know my friend, the name of his channel is ASMRGamingNews, and he is very talented friend of mine. His videos are just incredible, so relaxing. I love them. We have already done one collaboration in the past, and it was a little after the last year's E3. So in which case, if you remember this video, you probably already know us both. But if you have a time to spare, please definitely visit my friend's channel. He is super talented and his videos are awesome. So anyway, today's topic are games of 2018 that we have been loving and enjoying so far. So the year of 2017 was filled with amazing games, and it is almost surreal that the year 2018 is as good and even better when it comes to new games, even so far, and there are still many games to come out until the end of the year. And it is just incredible. So we both are going to talk a bit about the titles that we have already tried. Maybe we have already finished them, but they are all new games that came out in 2018. And to be honest, I'm a little guilty because I'm still playing the Persona 5 from the last year. It is such a long game, and I have been noticing so many people reviewing Persona 5, and I remember exactly, I think that Pyrit or someone like that said it, that it is an incredible game, so cool, you know, the gameplay, the story, the characters, but he haven't finished it yet, and he even doesn't know if he will. It's this kind of specific game that you love, but you really have to be in the mood to play it, and it takes a lot of time, not even mentioning all the other things you can do inside the game. So I'm guilty of that, still playing my games from 2017. But of course I was able to try out many games that came out in 2018 already, or not even that many, you know, it's just the beginning of the year. really, but today I have 3 titles I would love to talk about. And the first one is definitely no surprise, especially for those of you who already know me and follow me on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, because it is the new God of War. And oh my god, I know that there was such a big hype around the game, but it deserves it 100%. And I felt really involved when they came out with the game, because their communication with the fans is very transparent, which I love. Cory Barlog is such a lovely person, which is the creative director of the God of War, and it is really big game. You know, everyone was excited for it. It took 5 years to finish, and there are so many things that they have changed, as when it comes to the story, to the atmosphere, and also when it comes to the actual gameplay and controls. That at first I felt like this may not be a way to go, because Kratos was a very specific type of straight up character, you know, filled with rage and anger, really cool and cold. And now they have added beard and a small child, but he's still as badass as ever. And I was pretty surprised, because this whole game pretty much revolves around Kratos being sarcastic and making fun of the little guy. That's pretty much it. But I do not want to spoil anything. I know that we are probably past the month of no spoilers, but still I think that many people haven't tried the game just yet, and you should be able to enjoy it for yourself. So the only things I'm going to say, definitely watch all the extra stuff, all the interviews and stuff like that, because they are really worth it. I was not a fan of changing the voice actor, but it is working incredible. And you know, I think that's pretty much it. I was really scared of the change of atmosphere, but it is great. It just grows with the character, so I like that. And it took a little while for me until I got used to the controls and the overall gameplay experience, but in the end it was also worth it. And yeah, I am very much enjoying it. So this was the first game, definitely my recommendation. So the next game I want to talk about today is A Way Out, and it is an action adventure type of game developed by Hazelight Studios, and this is actually the same studio that made Brothers, The Tale of Two Sons, which is essentially the reason I was so hyped for the game, because I really enjoy the experimental type of games the studio is making, and I am definitely not disappointed. You know, there was this huge problem around this game, huge controversy, which is the fact that there is no single player, really. You have to play it as a co-op, and you can do so with your friend, you can do it online with people you don't even know. But essentially, this is a game designed for 2 players and for 2 players only. And many people are actually not happy about that, and I can understand that. But for me, this is actually a huge plus. Co-op gaming, split screen gaming is what got me to gaming in the first place. Really, I enjoy playing at a 2 much more, not much more really, but I enjoy it. I love it. I love it when I can sit next to you, play with you the game, no matter if it's Chip and Dale or if it's, Diablo, Torchlight, anything like that, if it's Gears of War, if it's pretty much anything you can play in 2 players. So for me, it was a huge plus because I was afraid that it's not going to be co-op. And another interesting thing is, and I don't know if it's just my opinion, but the creative director Joseph Fares, I don't know if I am pronouncing the name correctly, but in my opinion he looks exactly like one of the characters in the game, and it has a very interesting story. I am definitely not disappointed. The whole gameplay experience is very sophisticated and new and original, so huge plus for that. And yeah, so far both games that I was super hyped in 2018 have reached my expectations for 100%. They fulfilled my dreams. So that's pretty much it, and let's move to the third title. So, and the third and the last game I'm going to talk about today is a game that is not necessarily that new. In fact, this game already came out for the PS3 and for PlayStation Vita, but I haven't played it yet. And it is Dragon's Crown Pro, which is coming right now for the PS4. And by I haven't played it yet, I mean I haven't played it on the PS3 or the Vita. I obviously already tried it on the PS4. And it is a game developed by Vanilla Bear. And if you are watching my channel for quite some time, this is probably no big surprise for you. Vanilla Bear is the studio that also made, for example, Odin Sphere, and I have done a bunch of videos on Odin Sphere. And Dragon's Crown is supposed to be even better than Odin Sphere with over-the-top graphics. It is a 2D RPG, and it also have a co-op, which is such a lovely thing. Because when I was buying Odin Sphere, my first thought was, oh, okay, so this is going to be for 2 players. And it wasn't, so I was disappointed at the beginning, but I ended up loving the game anyway. So, yeah, at first I was a little disappointed, but the Dragon's Crown is already designed as a game for one player but also for more players, which is really really nice. So I am enjoying this game massively, and remastered for the PS4 with those goddamn graphics. It's really really incredible. One thing you have probably noticed, and you may have even heard about it, is the fact that the studio is, and especially the Dragon's Crown game, is a little controversial when it comes to the characters. If I want to say it lightly, they are a little bit over the top, and this is said very, very lightly. All the body features are this kind of taken to an extreme, huge boobs, but also huge hips, extremely tiny waists, small heads, kind of a disproportional, and also the physical part of the moving with the body, like the boobs are jumping and so on, is very over the top. And I was very freaked out when I saw the Amazon character for the first time, because she looks very, very over the top. So I was a little skeptical about this too at the beginning, but in the end I love the art style very much. If you do not want to play something so over the top, definitely grab Odin Sphere, because the characters are not so unreal in the Odin Sphere game. But yeah, Dragon's Crown is really, really cool. I love the experience, the fighting is very satisfying, and the art style is something that I really, really enjoy. And this may be just because I'm the definition of the target group of this game, but really I would recommend it to anyone. If you do not want to try this one, definitely try one of the other Vanillaware games. You are going to love it. So anyway, those were the 3 titles that I wanted to talk about today. If you have enjoyed my part, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any suggestions, questions, put them down there. And just thank you so much for watching. And now I am passing the word to my amazing friend ASMRGamingNews. By the way, on my channel, the link to his channel and his social media is going to be in the description and also in the comment section, so definitely check out his channel. Thank you so much, and see you very soon. Bye.
Greetings, everyone. I am ASMR Gaming News, and you can just call me AGN for short. That was a great list of games from Pyrit, ASMR Gamer. I have my own list of games that I really enjoyed playing so far in 2018, and there are a lot of great games coming out later this year, but these are the games that I've played and really enjoyed so far. So my list is slightly different than hers. I've decided to include other games instead of just talking about the same games she did. So there'd be a little bit more of uniqueness to our lists, let's put it that way. So, if some of you wonder why God of War isn't on this list, it's because she already had it in her list, and I just wanted to have a different list. So, none of these games are in any order, so it's not exactly like a top 8 or 9 list or anything like that. It's just games that I enjoyed playing. So, first off, Monster Hunter World. So, I played the demo of this on the channel. If you guys are curious about checking it out, it's a very fun demo, and I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, or let's say I was a big Monster Hunter fan. I played the original, like, on PlayStation 2. I've played all the PSP games. I've played the Wii game. I played the Wii U game a lot. I played the 3DS games, and somewhere around there I started getting a little bit burnt out with the series, even though I had friends that really, really enjoyed the series, like, a lot. And when this was announced at E3 last year, and I did, like, a live reaction on the channel, at first I was like, hey, what game is this? And yeah, they just announced Monster Hunter for the PlayStation 4 with amazing graphics. So my mind was completely blown, because before this, Capcom had always downgraded the graphics of Monster Hunter and released them on the PSP or 3DS. Even the Wii U version was just a slightly, like, up-resed, like, higher resolution version of the 3DS game. So this was a really big surprise. So a lot of people in the Monster Hunter community were happy with this, and the game finally came out. I played it, I did a lot of grinding. I like all the changes they've made. Some things are a lot easier and more intuitive for new players, so I really like that. Yeah, just a really good game with lots of content, and they're continually adding content, like, every few months or so. They add new monsters and some DLC as well. They've had, like, crossovers with Street Fighter and Dante from the Devil May Cry series. So, Monster Hunter World is great, especially if you can play with friends online. That would be the best, I think, way to go about playing this game. So, really enjoyed Monster Hunter World. Highly recommend it. Even if you're new to the series, I think you're going to enjoy this game. So, I'd like to see what Capcom does in the future for other Monster Hunter games going forward now. And my next game is Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. This is a 3DS game that's a port of a DS game. I was gonna say 2DS game. It's a 3DS game with a really deep story. Like, when this game originally came out on the DS near the end of its life, barely anyone bought it, so it's kind of like a sleeper hit. Like, RPG fans knew about it, but by that point a lot of stores had stopped carrying lots of the new DS game releases, so it was kind of rare to find. And the story is compared a lot to Chrono Trigger, which is considered to be one of the best RPGs of all time, back on the Super Nintendo. Radiant Historia deals a lot with time travel and woven plot lines, so the story is really good, the music is great, the characters are very interesting. I love the art style in the original game. They kind of altered the art style in this remake for the 3DS, but it still looks good. Love this game. I highly recommend, if any of you love RPGs, role-playing games, and you have a 3DS, check this game out. It's by Atlas, and Atlas really makes great RPGs. You probably I've heard about the Persona series, and they're involved with that as well. So yeah, they just make a lot of great RPGs on handheld systems. So Radiant Historia, a good remake. I own both the original DS version and 3DS version of the game. Next, I have a Nintendo Switch game called Danmaku Unlimited 3. What a strange title, am I right? So, this is a bullet hell shoot 'em up for the Nintendo Switch. It's a budget title available on the eShop. It's a very cheap game, so you can easily buy it. It's extremely cheap. Depends on your region. You know, if you have an eShop account in like Japan or Australia, Europe, North America, the price is going to slightly differ, but it's a very cheap game. But the graphics and the gameplay are amazing. Like, this is easily a $30 to $40 game that they're selling for like 1/4 of that price. So the game looks really nice. It's a very, very difficult bullet hell shoot 'em up. Shoot 'em ups are some of my favorite genre of games. I've played a few on the channel already. There's like a Let's Play of Ghostblade, where I play through the entire Ghostblade game on easy mode because the game is very difficult, and same goes for Danmaku Unlimited 3 for the Switch. This game is very hard, but there are easy modes for newcomers and new players, so you can play through the easy mode first, get a hang of things, and then play on the harder difficulties. Just a lot of fun. It looks great. It plays great. I will often like turn on my Nintendo Switch, like the past few months since it came out, and just play like a few stages and put my Switch in sleep mode and then pick it up later in the day. It's a great game. It's only been out for a while. I forget, but I think it came out like a month ago or 2 months ago or something. Honestly, I forget, but great game. Definitely one of my favorites so far this year. And next is a more recent game, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux. Very long title, I agree. It's an Atlas RPG for the 3DS. So just like Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology, this is a remake or port of a DS game. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey was originally released on the Nintendo DS, and it was a really, really, really hard game. It's actually considered to be one of the hardest Shin Megami Tensei games out there, on just like the normal standard difficulty. And yeah, they've brought it over to the 3DS with a lot of improvements. There's actually like an easy mode and lots of other features they've added, so the game's easier for new players. And the game is just a lot of fun. I mean, it's essentially like Pokemon. That's the best comparison I can make. Shin Megami Tensei combines very mature, adult, like dark storylines that deal with like philosophical and religious themes. And then there's like the gameplay, which is a turn-based RPG, but you have your own like party, just like Pokemon. You know, in like Pokemon games, you have to capture like a Pikachu or any other type of Pokemon, and they're part of your party. Well, the same thing applies to Shin Megami Tensei games. You capture like monsters and enemies, and they fight for you in battle, and it's pretty cool. And if you're saying that Pokemon is the first to do this, actually you're wrong. A lot of people don't know this, but Shin Megami Tensei was a series that existed since the 80s, whereas Pokemon came out in the 90s, so lots of people think that Shin Megami Tensei games copied the Pokemon formula, but it was actually the other way around, that Pokemon copied Shin Megami Tensei in terms of capturing and then using like captured Pokemon in battle. That kind of mechanic was originally from Shin Megami Tensei. So just a brief history lesson for everyone listening to this. I really love this series though. If you have a 3DS, definitely check this game out. It's a lot of fun. Very, very mature storyline though, so not for kids. And the music is fantastic. The composer for this game has composed about the majority of the games in the Shin Megami Tensei series, and his music is some of my favorite, like in terms of the variety that he uses. Like some pieces will be like classical music, and then he'll have like more fast and upbeat techno tracks. I just love his music. Next, another Nintendo Switch game, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So this came out recently. I picked it up as soon as it came out. I love the Donkey Kong Country games. I've played every single Donkey Kong Country game multiple times. It's safe to say that the original Donkey Kong Country I played about, I'm not joking here, like 46 times already. Like from front to back. And I actually like 100%ed the game on Game Boy Advance multiple times. So yeah, I've played the game a lot. So the series is definitely really, really awesome. Fun fact, in order to give me more of a challenge back when I was playing it on the Super Nintendo, I actually would play the game upside down, just to add more challenge to the game because I already completed it multiple times. So, how did I play it upside down? Well, basically, I sat on the couch and like put my legs over the back of the couch, and then while my head was upside down, I'd pick up the controller and just play it on the TV that way. So, yeah, definitely kind of weird, but that's just how much I loved the Donkey Kong Country games. So, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the newer titles in the series. You know, it came out on the Wii U originally, and this Nintendo Switch version is a port with added features. They've added Funky Kong mode. Funky Kong is one of the coolest Donkey Kong Country characters, and they've added him as a playable character in this game. He's really awesome, and he basically makes this very, very hard game extremely easy. So if you're not good at the game, you should use him. But if you like hard 2D platformers like I do, I'd recommend playing just on the classic original mode. But yeah, really, really fun game. I'm already like on World 4, and I'm just having a blast collecting like the Kong letters and the puzzle pieces and the music composed by David Wise. He is a genius. He makes some of the best music tracks out there. If you guys don't know who David Wise is, I recommend typing in Donkey Kong Country Aquatic Ambience on YouTube, and you will hear one of the best underwater themes for video game music of all time. Aquatic Ambience is like a masterpiece for video game music, and it was composed by David Wise, and he actually did a remix of that song for this game. So for all you music fans out there, this game has great music, great gameplay. I love 2D platformers, and I love the Donkey Kong Country series, so I'm loving this game. Next, Shadow of the Colossus. I don't want to say remake, but it's more like a remaster, HD remaster. But then again, there was an HD remaster of Shadow of the Colossus on the PS3. So this is just like an even bigger remaster than the previous one. It came out on the PlayStation 4 this year. And Shadow of the Colossus is a masterpiece. It's considered by many people to be one of the most artistic games of all time. I definitely put it in a top 10 list for artistic type games. And this PS4 version that recently came out completely redid the graphics, so they're much more like beautiful, and they pop out when you look at the environments in this game. And they've also increased the frame rate, so the game was originally 30 FPS, it's 60 FPS now, so it runs very smooth. But there's also a 30 FPS mode for people that prefer the old style, like from the original game. So this is, I don't even want to spoil anything about this game, but essentially you're one boy or one guy. He's a young guy, like, you know, teenage age or something, and you're on this horse in a huge world, and you essentially have to go around and find these colossus creatures, these like huge titan creatures, and you fight them, and that's basically the game. I'm not going to give anything out about the story or what happens, but yeah, the whole game is like a journey, and these, like, I don't even want to, because if I keep talking, I'm going to start spoiling stuff, so, it's just a really good game. So if you guys have the chance, pick up Shadow of the Colossus. It's a very cheap game too. It's not a normal priced PlayStation 4 game. It's much cheaper since it's a remake or port of a PS3 game that was originally a port of a PS2 game. So I will warn you guys, there are some glitches in this game. I think they've patched some of them since launch, but you might encounter some bugs or some graphical glitches just because this game is a remaster of a PlayStation 2 game. But it's still extremely good, and you probably will not encounter any bugs, hopefully. But yeah, check out some gameplay, some trailers. If you have a PS4, I recommend you check this game out. I think everyone should play Shadow of the Colossus at least one time. And next, Yakuza 6 or Yakuza 6. Depends on how you want to pronounce it. I've heard people say it both ways, but Yakuza 6, Song of Life, is the most recent Yakuza game that came out on the PlayStation 4 this year. Fans were waiting for this game for a very long time, and we finally got it. And yeah, it's basically a conclusion in a sense to the series. Not gonna give anything away, of course, but certain character arcs come to close, certain things are resolved. So a lot of people that have stayed with the Yakuza series for like the past 5 or 7 games, depending if you count Yakuza 0 as part of the main series. So I guess it makes it 7 games in total, but yeah, definitely a great game. I wouldn't recommend starting with Yakuza 6 if you're new to this series. Definitely start with Yakuza 0 or Yakuza Kiwami on the PlayStation 4, which is a remake of the first game that was a PS2 game actually. So Yakuza Kiwami or Yakuza 0 if you're interested in the series. Basically, Yakuza is about the Yakuza, the Japanese mob is basically called Yakuza. It's like the mafia, but Japanese. So, you play as this main guy, and yeah, he goes on a lot of like really interesting adventures, I want to say, or gets into like some serious drama and storylines. The games are very story heavy, so if you guys don't really like games that involve a lot of talking and cutscenes and stuff like that, maybe stay away from this series. But it's voice acting, and the characters are just really, really lovable. Like, they start to grow on you after like the first game or the first time you play a Yakuza game, and each subsequent game you get to know more and more about these characters and how they grow up and stuff like that. So yeah, the games are just a lot of fun. They are, I want to say, kind of like Grand Theft Auto in a way, as in you can actually explore certain places on foot, like around a city. You can beat up random people, you can take like missions and go on missions and quests. And the combat, you don't use like weapons or guns and stuff like that for the most part. Instead, in the Yakuza games, everything is dealt with fighting, like a beat 'em up game. So if you guys ever played like Double Dragon or Streets of Rage or any of those type of games, that's basically what you end up doing in Yakuza. You meet like a bunch of guys on the street, like a group of like 8 guys or 20 guys or something. They all want to beat you up. You get into a fight and you just start beating up all these dudes at once. So the combat is a lot of fun, kind of button mashy at times. It can get a little bit repetitive, but there's a lot of stuff in the game that kind of balances it out. So there's a lot of mini games, and the mini games in Yakuza, there's just so many to name. Lots of great mini games though. So I love the Yakuza series. So Yakuza 6 is on this list for that reason. And now for my last 2 games, aren't technically 2018 games, but I still count them on this list because they're games that I'm playing in 2018, and because they're games that constantly get updated with new content to keep them current with the current year. So Overwatch, I love Overwatch. I've been playing it since like a few months after it came out, and I'm still playing it. I haven't gotten bored of the game at all. Blizzard constantly updates Overwatch with patches and updates and fixes. They've added a new map, and they're going to be adding another new map to the game as of right now when I'm recording this. They add new characters, new skins, every year new characters come out, new skins come out. Every few months they have a special event. I just love this game, and I never see myself getting bored of it. So yeah, that's why Overwatch makes it on this list. It's just a game that keeps on giving. I love it. And the next goes to Fortnite. Fortnite is the last game on this list, but it's not necessarily the last game in a top 10 list or anything like that. This is just the order that I was saying these games for the video. So basically, Fortnite is a really, really nice game. I love how it has grown in the past few months. I feel like when I started playing it last year in October, barely anyone was playing it then. I heard a few people here and there saying, oh yeah, Fortnite, but really starting around Christmas and early this year, it has really blown up. And now everyone's playing it, and you see all these celebrities and other YouTubers playing the game now, so I'm kind of happy to see just how far this game has gone. And Epic Games just continuously updates the game. I mean, they're doing such a good job with the updates for this game. Every few weeks they update it, they add new modes, new guns. Every single day there's new skins, new emotes. There's the Battle Pass, new seasons for the game with challenges. There's just so much to do. And it's a free game, so that's what makes it so awesome. So, yeah, those are my favorite games that I've played this year, I'd say. So, my list is slightly different than Pyrit's ASMR Gamers list. She definitely had some games in there that I loved a lot, like God of War. But yeah, this is basically my top 9 list of my favorite games that I've played in 2018. here we have Kingdom Hearts 3 and Dragon Quest 11. So just a lot of great games that I'm going to have a lot of fun playing. So anyway, thanks to everyone that watched or listened to this video. Shout out to Pyrit ASMR Gamer for doing this collab with me. And yeah, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The links to my channel and her channel are in the description, so be sure to subscribe to the both of us if you like our content. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.